Well, welcome to the Real Money Coach Show. It's Tuesday. And so we want to welcome everyone who is watching us by Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and we even want to welcome our Instagram watchers this evening. And you know what we do in this thing we call the chat. I want you to put your information, what city, your name, what city you are watching from, because we have a very important show tonight. We're going to be doing some updates. We're going to be getting some updates in terms of filing your taxes, because y'all know it's time to pay Uncle Sam. It is tax time, right? It is tax time. So we have an expert, one of our experts, part of our team, part of the Real Money Coach family, Timothy Daye of Daye Financial Enterprises, will be our guest tonight. And so we're excited about that. We're excited about a whole lot of things. We're excited about 2024. We hope that you're excited. We hope that you are looking to make this your best year ever. Your best year ever. That's what we want to do. And it starts off by getting this whole tax season thing kicked off. And you know, if you were watching, I just wanted to, are you expecting a refund or you think you go owe? Right? That's the question. And so did love that what you think about that. One of the things I do want to recommend for everyone who's watching, everyone who's listening, and we'll get into this a little bit later when Timothy comes on, is you need to see a tax professional. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't be trying to do this thing yourself, right? I know there's a lot of free software out there and all that type of stuff, but I believe that the word says that there's a wisdom in a multitude of counselors. And the one person you do not want to be in trouble with is Uncle Sam and his evil sister Iris, known as the IRS. So we want to make sure that you know that and all that good stuff. I do want to remind everyone we are going to be launching something very, very special. So make sure that you're following our YouTube page. Make sure that you are joining our Real Money Coach community, that private Facebook group, because we're going to be doing some things in that group that we're not going to be doing anywhere else. And we're excited about it. You're going to learn more about that as we go along. But I'm telling you, I'm really geeked about it. I'm really excited about it. And I tell you what, make sure, there we go. We got the Rainmaker is in the house, Janice Lee. And I tell you what, if you want to find out where I'm at this same time, well, pretty close to the same time, if you go to the Generational Wealth Alliance.net every Thursday evening at 7 p.m., I co-host that gathering with Janice, the Rainmaker Leak, who you see there in our chat right now. Also, Dr. George Fraser and myself. We have a gathering. We talk about generational wealth, a lot of different things that happen there. So come be a part of that group if you're looking to get some wisdom on your Thursday evening at 7 p.m. So let me do this. Without any further ado, I am going to bring our co-host on here in just a few minutes and let her share some of the wonderful things that she's doing. Errol, my man, Errol, love that. Errol, we got to get you on the show. Errol. So let's talk about that tomorrow. Errol is someone that I have been studying under as we are talking about covered options, option trading. Dr. Boyce Watkins. I met Errol. He attended my workshop at the All Black National Convention there in Atlanta. He and I have developed a great relationship, and he does some mentoring when it comes to option trading. And Errol, let's get you on the show. Let's get that book so you can come and share some of that about the option trading. Alice Martin, thank you for being here as well. And I got to hold back. I'm going to hold back until Errol comes on the show. But I'm telling y'all, I'm so excited about option trading and the way Dr. Boyce teaches it and what we've been learning from Errol and others. And so really, really excited about that. More to come on that as well. So without any further ado, let me bring on my co-hostess with the mostest, Mrs. Michelle Mitchell. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good, Tony. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Hey, Kimberly, glad to have Kimberly watching tonight. Michelle, I don't want to steal the thunder, but just got me excited. This is something that we need to really get into and teach our family.
I
Uh,
think I've heard this a couple times
have I
already.
talked about it a couple times
No,
already?
I have not heard it from you, but your excitement spills over.
Listen,
Me and my girl talked about it, and
yeah,
me and
you
my
and Lisa
brother
talked
talked
about it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Tony sent me a message that when I start to have some gathering with the family
Mhm.
and we start looking at this option, uh, well, your brother heard me talking about it too. I don't
Yes,
know. Yeah, your
yes.
brother Timothy.
My
We were all
brother, my
together.
husband, like,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
talked about
So
it.
we're excited about it. See, Errol, I got some buzz. I got some heat going when it
Yes.
comes to options. So, Michelle, anything new? What's going on in your world?
What's going on in my world? We're having our monthly roundtable. It's coming up in 2 weeks. But after that, I'll be launching Passion to Profit again. I am expecting new enrollees. So if you own a business and you want to understand how to generate profit, it takes a lot more than just selling something. And I'm going
So,
to teach you how to do it. So
if
I'm
that
excited.
don't make money,
Right. It don't
it
make
don't make
sense.
sense,
That's
right?
right.
So,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that is great, and we need everyone to participate in that,
Yes.
support that. So all of you, everyone out there in the Real Money Coach land, please make sure that you do indeed um, join in on the Financial Empowerment Roundtable. You see that on February 14th at 1 o'clock. And y'all ain't going out for Valentine's that early. So y'all can
Not
get
at
this
1
in.
PM.
Y'all can get this in and then go to have your Valentine's with your sweetie a little bit later,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
uh,
So what we're talking about this time is goal setting and
okay,
how people make arbitrary financial goals. So I'm going to help them unpack it and try to back into that number that they arbitrarily picked to figure out what their activity is going to be in order to reach that goal. So,
that's awesome. I
yes.
had a great conversation with my godson too the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if he told you that.
No,
Yep.
he didn't.
Yeah, we had a great conversation
Oh,
about
nice.
goals and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
listen, everybody who's listening in the Netherlands, listen, we got to take a quick break. We're going to play a quick commercial here. If you're listening to podcasts, you'll get a little bit of music, and then I'm going to come back and introduce our guest for the evening, Mr. Timothy Daye from Daye Financial Enterprises.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
And welcome back, Michelle. I love that commercial. I love
Me too. So
it's
nice.
done so well. It's done
Thank
so well.
you.
I'm excited about getting my commercial done. I'm gonna get my commercial done here.
Yes,
It's gonna
yes.
be good. So
He gonna hook you up.
yeah, I can't wait. Great person, Antonio, and his
Yeah.
business, Texture House, and so we got to have him back on the show soon
Yeah, you
too.
should have him on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So they're doing great things, and I hear really good stuff about his downloads of his music.
Mhm. Yep.
250,000 downloads.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Michelle, I don't know if it's his introduction or just welcoming to the stage,
Right.
my friend and your friend and part of the team. He did a tax update for us last year. He's coming back to do another tax update for us, and that is in the person of Timothy Daye from Daye Financial Enterprises. Timothy, how are you doing this evening?
Doing
Look,
well, doing
that's what
well.
we want to
Welcome,
do. we want to make the money rain.
Make
Make
it
the
rain.
money rain.
Hey, that reminds me, you know how they have those things where you go in the booth and you got to grab the money
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So, is that what tax time is like, Timothy? Do we just go in a booth and close our eyes and hope to grab a refund? How does this thing work?
It's interesting. There are studies that show that people spend their first 3 to 4 months working just to pay their taxes.
Hmm.
Wow.
So it's amazing that a quarter of the year you spend working just to pay your tax bill.
Right.
So that's just amazing.
And they should
Timothy,
have a tax strategy.
that makes me feel a certain kind of way, right? What do you say?
well,
A tax
well,
strategy?
it's all about having a tax strategy to
Yeah.
actually minimize the amount of taxes that you're paid. And a key portion of that is good record keeping, making sure you keep good records so that you can
Absolutely.
support deductions and
Hmm.
again, don't forget to report all your income because if someone else reports it
And you
Yep.
didn't.
and you didn't, they'll come looking for you.
Hmm.
Well, Timothy, what I'd like to do, and first of all, we do want to say congratulations because you are now, since you were on the show last, you are an enrolled agent
Yes.
with the IRS. So
Yes.
tell the audience exactly what does that mean?
Okay. An enrolled agent, it is a designation that is issued by the Internal Revenue Service for those that have completed a three-part exam. There's a part for individual tax preparation. So you have to understand individual taxes, you have to understand business taxes and pass that exam. And then there's also an exam on representation. So, what an enrolled agent is capable of doing is actually representing clients before the Internal Revenue Service to challenge any disputes or help clients work through any type of settlements or any taxes that are owed to the Internal Revenue Service. So an enrolled agent is a person that's designated or allowed to represent clients before the Internal Revenue Service.
So is it kind of like, because you got tax attorneys.
Yes.
So if you are a tax attorney, you probably have to be an enrolled agent as well, or
Well, the way it works is there are certain classifications of professionals that are by their nature allowed to represent. For example, CPAs are
Hmm.
allowed to represent clients before the Internal Revenue Service. Attorneys are allowed to represent clients before the Internal Revenue Service. Enrolled agents, and then there are some areas where an actuary, not an actuary, an appraiser can also represent clients before the Internal Revenue Service. So those are some of the special designations in which, by their nature, have the privilege or the benefit of actually representing clients before the IRS.
so then if someone comes to you and they like, well, I need to get my taxes done, bro. I need to get this, and if there's something, an audit or something like that, now you have the designation where you can represent them in front of the IRS.
You are able to receive the information that's coming from the Internal Revenue Service to the client,
Hmm.
that you can actually receive those notifications because it's amazing the notifications that come in that people either ignore or don't give it the proper attention it deserves.
No,
Because
this
they don't understand it. They
it,
really don't. They really
and
don't
it's
understand
fear.
the
It's
notices. Yeah.
fear, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
it
It
is.
It's,
is.
oh,
And
this
it's
from the
intimidating.
IRS.
Yeah. Right. Like
That's-
it's gonna go away.
It's
right.
not going away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so then that's a great benefit if they employ your services, because then you can actually be the person that then gets those notifications to help.
Yes.
I see some dynamics here, just
Mhm.
on the screen, because I think Michelle, you guys don't really get into the tax side,
Mm-mm.
and
Nope.
and so there could be some real collaboration that can happen
Absolutely.
even right here in
I'm
terms
Yeah.
of what
I was already there.
you're there, right?
I'm
Right.
there.
And so
I'm
so and
there.
then so Michelle is this QuickBooks expert, right? And
Yeah.
all
Yes.
those things. And then we got the tax guy here, and
Yeah.
then they keep you out of trouble and you come see me and we get your retirement right. Boom.
There
You
you
all
go.
taken care of.
You
We got
preserving
the
your
trifecta.
wealth. Yeah.
Yep,
preserve the wealth.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got somebody from Florida watching. Glad that you are here watching from Florida. So, Timothy, any updates, any things that you want to share with us this evening that can help people in terms of preparing to have their taxes done?
Yeah. I can say first of all, I would say making sure you have the right designation in terms of filing status. It would be inappropriate for a married couple that live in the same household to both file either single or file head of household, that type of thing. And so, there are times that people will come and say, "Well, I want to file head of household," but you know that they are married, and it's like that's an improper designation in terms of your filing status. Or you might have young people that are just out on their own, and they'll think, "Oh, now that I'm living on my own, I can file head of household," but they have no dependents.
Right.
So
Got it.
it's like, no, you're single.
Right.
So the right filing designation is a critical part of making sure that we get the right taxes associated, because the tax tables vary based upon your filing status.
Mm-hmm.
So the tax table for
Right.
single is different from that for married filing jointly, which is different from married filing separately, those types of things, and for head of household. So having that correct filing designation is a critical part to making sure that you are filing your taxes correctly. And
So,
I'm Yes.
Timothy, let me do this real quick though. Let me give a shout out to Concord Taste Buds, Derek and Tavia Jackson, great couple there, and also Christy Burton from Dallas, Texas. Christy, I will be in Dallas at St. John's Cathedral Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas, on February 10th. February 10th. I'll be doing a workshop preaching there on February 11th. So come on out, Dallas, and check us out. Timothy, I I see this all the time where you have a couple and they file married filing separate.
Hmm.
And I usually ask, why in the world are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because that is the highest tax bracket that really you could be in.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, I just, it doesn't make sense to me
No, that
unless
that could be
there's
some
some reasons.
there could be some legitimate reasons to file in that way, in that fashion. Let's say you have one of the spouses that operate a business and want to keep their spouse, separate from, any business transactions, so that if there was ever a situation that there was a tax issue that involved the business, that all of their assets aren't tied up in that particular tax return.
Okay,
Or you could have a situation where someone maybe owes, let's say child support or something, and they're going to
sure.
garnish wages, and you want to keep that separate so that, you know, if a refund was due, yeah,
But can't you file injured
innocent,
spouse?
yeah, injured spouse. There,
You
there are
can,
several
yeah,
different designations,
injured
but
spouse.
but if
Yeah,
you could prevent that from the
exactly.
onset, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Right,
And if you
right.
have a business, if you've set it up in your LLC properly and it's its own entity,
Then you're getting the
you'll
K1
have it
statement
proper.
instead
Yeah,
of
yes,
doing it on a
exactly.
sole
Yeah,
proprietor. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But those are some of the reasons that
That's
some
true.
people do actually do that. Because sometimes people don't always keep great records,
Mhm.
and
Right.
if there's some concern about the records that are being kept, or that type of thing, one may
So,
choose
so
to do that separately.
so filing status is a big one.
Yes.
Now, Chester the cat, he,
Yeah.
he eat a lot of food. Can I claim him as a dependent?
Right.
Let's talk about these dependents.
Okay. Well, some of that kind of went away when they did the tax law changes and they increased the standard deduction. So
Mm,
remember, you used to have personal exemptions and you had your
mhm.
standard deductions. Okay, that personal exemption piece has gone. Remember, you were able to claim how many dependents you had, and then you have to multiply that times the personal exemption amount.
Hmm.
Well, when they increased the standard deduction, that basically sort of went away. I mean, you get to claim, list those individuals as dependents on your tax return, but there is no extra amount for those personal exemptions that used to exist. But
Wow.
in terms of claiming those dependents, I mean, one thing you have to be mindful of there, if there are any type of joint custody arrangements, making
Mhm.
sure that if there's an agreement between the two parents as to who's going to carry the child, that that is worked out, because whoever filed first will likely be the one that will
Yes.
receive
Yeah.
the benefit of claiming
Of
the
the
child. Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had situations where you submit a tax return and the other parent has already
Already
filed, and
found. Mhm.
it gets kicked back because that tax ID number, social security number, has already been used. And so we're trying to figure out what's going on, and so those
Just
things
having
need to
those
be worked out. Yeah.
up front. It's interesting. I was talking about this on the radio the other day because I do the Money Minute on 105.3 R&B and on Mondays and also on Wednesdays on Praise 100.9. And we were talking about the child care or the child credit, which
Mhm.
Hmm.
is about
Hmm.
$2,000, and it it reduces your tax liability. But
Right.
if you don't have any tax liability, it could result in you getting like a $1,400
Refundable.
refund.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yes.
but the problem is, according to studies, it costs you about 14,000 a year to raise a child.
Yeah.
It don't quite offset, right? And
Yeah.
so when you think about that, but any of those type of credits, what matter of fact, what is the difference between a refundable credit and a tax credit? What's the difference?
Yeah. So there are two different forms in terms of a refundable tax credit and a non-refundable tax credit. So in
Mhm.
the refundable tax credit, if you actually owe taxes, no, let's do it this way. With the refundable tax credit, if you did not owe any taxes, you could still qualify to receive the refund.
Yes.
So
Okay?
that's the tax credit, earned
Yes.
income
Yeah,
credit.
like earned income tax credit is one that if you did not owe any taxes and you had this tax refund credit for earned income, that you could still receive a refund although you didn't owe any taxes.
Right.
Got it.
Okay? So let's say on the flip side, if you had a non-refundable tax credit, let's say you owed $500 in taxes and you have this non-refundable tax credit that's up to $1,000. Okay, you could only receive $500 for that because that credit is a non-refundable credit, so it
Mm.
cannot generate a refund for you.
Right.
So it
Got
would
it.
only go to offset
The
any
taxes.
taxes
Oh,
that were
yeah.
owed. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, listen, we will get to some of the questions, but Derek said, listen, it's more like $19,000 per kid, right? Well, that study was a couple years old, so he
Yeah.
probably point on with that.
Yeah.
But plus,
So
you got
so
to make sure.
that goes to the point that to have a kid to get the earned income tax credit
Is not
is
worth
not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So don't be going out,
Yeah.
just growing your family because you're gonna think you're gonna get some more tax benefits.
That's right.
That's
That's
not
right.
how it's going to work.
Right.
So listen, so go ahead and get your refundable tax credit. Take some of that refund. Go out to Taste Buds, get you some really good popcorn.
There you
I
go.
like
Right.
the cherry wine. I know I'm a North Carolinian now, I guess, because I like the cherry wine popcorn, right? My wife's like, I don't like that chick. There you go. There you go. Right. Exactly. So here's the thing. We got a couple questions that came in, and let me get this one first. It says, can parents alternate claiming the kids on a tax return? And I think you kind of addressed that, long as you have that worked out
Yes.
um in beforehand. So
Yes. Yes. Work
who
that out beforehand. Correct.
absolutely. Now, and the other question that came in was any advice for nonprofits filing their taxes?
Okay. For
Like the 990, because that's different.
yeah, the 990 is like
Yeah.
the tax form for a non-profit
Nonprofit.
organization.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
depending upon what the revenue generated
Yes.
is by that entity, it
Mhm.
determines like what type of filing you need to do. For those that are less than 50,000, the
Yep.
990 N is the little postcard that you can knock out very quickly. If you go above that, then you have to look at either the 990 EZ, which it says EZ, but it still can be somewhat
Mhm.
lengthy.
It's
Okay.
significant.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then there's the long form,
Mhm.
the full 990,
Right.
and it is very in depth in terms of
You have to have a
assets.
very good
Yes,
accountant
yes,
Yeah.
to help you keep your books for the 990.
yeah,
So,
So,
absolutely.
so don't you can't come in with that shoebox.
no, you
No, you
cannot.
can't.
So,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
need help with 990
Yeah. And
before you
especially
file the 990, we can help you, but um
now the 990 would be for any nonprofit, or is it just for nonprofits that are 5013C, or is it
But-
all nonprofits,
Well, it's for nonprofits.
mhm.
It's for all nonprofits.
regardless of the designation
Yes,
of the 5013C?
yes,
Okay. So, and then a lot of especially nonprofits have different fiscal years, like they may
Mhm.
end
yeah,
June
yeah.
30th and some of those type of things. Does that have any impact on when that annual 990 form
It
is due?
Mhm.
it does.
Yep.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, that form is not due on April 15th.
Right.
Right.
It's due like March 15th, I
It could
think.
be March 15th, it could
Yeah,
be May. Like it depends on the
On the
fiscal
fiscal
year.
year.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Wow, that's a lot of great information. So, what should people be expecting now? Right? What should they be expecting? Because I'm getting people calling me like, man, I ain't got my 1099, I ain't got my W-2 yet. I want to file my
'Cause
taxes.
it's due
What's going on?
tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Tomorrow's the deadline. They're
Tomorrow's the
supposed to
deadline.
be issued by January 31st, so that's the deadline. So
The issued by, but
correct.
Issue.
so hopefully you get electronic copy. But if you don't, you may have some mail time on that.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
And I would think one of the things that you want to do, if you know you're gonna get a 1099 and you ain't got it, don't go file your taxes.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I didn't get it, so I guess I don't have to put it down, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
it's
they
been
will.
reported.
It's still
It's
Exactly.
been
reported. Who is
reported.
it reported to?
The
Social
IRS,
the IRS and the Social
Social
Security
Security
Administration.
Administration. Yeah.
Got it. So
Yes.
making sure that you file those things, make sure that you have all those documentation when you file. So someone
And
asked me
that's
this.
and that's the thing, when something comes to your house and it says, tax documents enclosed, keep that stuff and make sure your preparer gets that information. It's better to pass that information on and not need it than to need it
And not
and
have
they
it
not have it. So
Man, you know my mom love that song. It's better to have and not need than to need
and
and
not
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 have.
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 Mhm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So let
So
me just give you a strategy real quick. Get a colorful folder in your house. When you
Mhm.
bring the mail in and there's tax documents in the mail, just stick it in that folder. So when you do go to your tax preparer, you have everything in one place. It's systems. When you put
Yes.
systems in place, you don't
absolutely.
forget things. So that's just a simple system that you can have. Just get a colorful folder. Whoever gets the mail out the mailbox, if it says important tax document,
Yep.
put it in that folder. You don't need to know what to do with it. Just take it to your
Your
tax
preparer.
preparer, and
Exactly.
then you got all your documents.
And let them know
And
what
let
to
them
do.
figure
Let
it out.
them figure it out. Let them figure it out. So that's all good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I guess, one of the things maybe to talk about a little bit is the partnerships, LLCs. How are those taxes handled and how does it flow through to your personal tax return?
Yeah. Well, partnerships and LLCs. If you're a single member LLC, in all likelihood, it is a pass-through type entity, meaning you will file basically an informational return for the partnership or the LLC, but the net income actually flows to your 1040, i.e., pass through. So the entity itself doesn't pay taxes. That is all passed through to your 1040. And so you have Schedule K1s if you are a partnership that all the partners will receive a K1. Then you'll file a 1065
Mhm.
representing the business of the partnership, all of that type of stuff. And so it can be a very involved process.
It is.
Yeah.
But I will also add or share with you that there is information coming out in regards to the business owners information that's being required, that business owners have to report who those interested parties are to the government.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
so
who's going to be getting those K1s? Who should be getting them? So it's kind of like the 1099, so they can track
Right.
whether or not
yes,
you're reporting
yes,
that income.
yes,
Um, and because Uncle Sam wants to collect
All the money.
his taxes. He
yes,
won't.
All the money.
exactly.
You talking about somebody that don't leave no money on the table?
Right.
Uncle Sam, right?
It's Uncle Sam.
That's
Yep,
good. That's good.
Also, the corporate returns have a different filing date as well.
they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what if your LLC doesn't make a profit, and so can your K1 actually be negative flow through to your personal tax return?
Yes, it
So I,
can.
I didn't make any money. I got a
It can.
loss. So my
Yep.
K1 shows, yeah, okay. So all
And the
that.
net effect of that is that it reduces your net income because
Yes.
it goes in determining your adjusted gross income. So it reduces the amount of income that you would pay taxes on, or that
Right.
would be taxed. Yeah.
So this is all great information. I want to remind people this is like, hey, listen, one of the things that you do want to do in your planning, long-term planning, right? Because I often talk about when it comes to taxes, there's tax preparation, micro approach. That's what we're talking about now, how to reduce your tax liability every year. And then there's a macro approach of how to reduce your taxes in your lifetime.
Right.
And the
Mhm.
reality is that you need both. You
Yes.
need both. You need to both reduce your taxes on a micro level and a macro level. And so, if
Yes.
you're listening today, what you need to do, you need to see Timothy for that micro approach in terms of making sure that you paid your fair share and no more of
Mhm.
your taxes each year. And then for a personal side, you need to see me about how we can help you create tax free income in your retirement. And you need to see Michelle for your business tax planning because all those things have to work together. Oh man, it just dropped the scripture. Man. All things work together, right? All things work together for those who love the Lord, called according to His purpose.
There
Listen,
you
you can
go.
find scripture for every manner, every situation, right? So, but just make sure that you do the proper thing. So why don't we do this, Michelle? Tell the people how they can contact you if they need that business tax planning, business planning, and all those type of things. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, the business planning, for real, the way to get in touch with me, come to the round table.
Come to the round table.
Come
We
to the
post.
round table. You'll get a feel for the team, how we interact, and how we educate first. Our goal is to teach you first and then bring you along so that you're making the right decisions for yourself and your business. So come to the round table. We put the link, I think we put the link in.
Yeah, the link is in
Yeah,
there.
the link is
So
in
it's in
there.
the chat.
Come to the
So
round table. It's free. Like, it's free. It's 1 hour of your time.
there it is
Free.
on the screen. It's
Yeah.
free. All right. Now, so Timothy, if
Yes.
they need listen, listen, y'all who are watching this podcast don't know why we're laughing, but Dante, the maestro
Dante.
engineer, he keeps dropping gifts in here and it's funny. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. You can go back and catch some of those funny moments. The Real Money Coach on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to it, the Real Money Coach on YouTube. So Timothy, if they want to get a hold of you, what do they need to do?
Well, the best way to reach me is through my email address, which is DAYE Financial Enterprise, ENTERPRISE at gmail.com.
Day Enterprise at
Day
Gmail.
Financial. Day
Day
Financial
Financial Enterprise
Enterprise at
at
Gmail.
Gmail. So there you have the contact information. I think that's also in the chat over there. Dante, if you could pull that on the screen as we are closing down the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us live tonight, we certainly appreciate it. Do not count it robbery. that you would take time out of your schedule to be with us tonight. And if you happen to be catching this on one of the podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, all of them, there's like 10, 12 different podcasting platforms. If you happen to be catching there, we thank you also for tuning in there as well. And with that, next week, we're going to have Bishop Kenneth Spears from Dallas, Texas, will be joining us for a conversation about financial wellness in Cathedral, the Cathedral.
Right.
So we're looking forward to having a great time with Von Clement and Pat and Bishop Spears and the St. John Cathedral Baptist Church family here in a couple weeks. So everyone have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you book your appointment with Timothy or Michelle or myself so we can help you get your money right.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.